Welcome to US Numismatics. In today's video, we're diving into the fascinating world of rare 1-cent coins, those ordinary-looking coins that could actually be worth a fortune. From minting errors to low mintage surprises, these hidden gems might be sitting in your pocket right now. Stay tuned as we uncover the most valuable pennies that every collector should know about. Top 1 today, we're diving deep into one of the most overlooked yet incredibly valuable coins in American coinage history, the 1971 Lincoln penny. Now, I know what you're thinking. A regular old penny? What could possibly make a 1-cent coin from 1971 worth anything significant? Well, listen very carefully, because what you're about to learn might just inspire you to start checking your change more closely than ever before. Let's take a closer look at the 1971 Lincoln penny, a small copper coin that has become a major target for coin collectors across the United States and beyond. This unassuming penny might look ordinary to the casual observer, but under the right circumstances, it can be a true gem hiding in plain sight. So, what's the story behind this little coin? The Lincoln cent has been a staple of American currency since 1909, when it was first introduced to honor President Abraham Lincoln's 100th birthday. By 1971, the penny had gone through a few design and composition changes, but it still carried the beloved image of Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. In 1971, these pennies were minted in 3 different locations: Philadelphia, No Mint Mark; Denver, D Mint Mark; and San Francisco, S Mint Mark. While millions were produced, only a tiny fraction ended up with the kinds of rare features that make collectors' hearts race. So what makes some 1971 Lincoln pennies worth a fortune? It all comes down to rarity, condition, and most importantly, errors. That's right, error coins are a major reason why certain 1971 Lincoln pennies have skyrocketed in value. Let's go over some of the key error types that make this particular coin such a hot item in the world of numismatics. Point 1. Of the most famous and valuable errors on the 1971 penny is the double die obverse, a misprint during the minting process that causes parts of the design, like the date or the words, "In God We Trust," and "Liberty," to appear doubled. This kind of doubling is clearly visible to the naked eye and, when found in a well-preserved coin, can dramatically increase its value. Another incredible find is the off-center strike, where the design isn't properly aligned on the planchet, making part of the coin blank. Collectors go wild for these because each one is totally unique. Then, there are the wrong planchet errors, where a penny is accidentally struck on a dime or foreign coin blank, creating a rare hybrid coin that grabs serious attention at auctions. And don't forget about the high-grade specimens. A 1971 Lincoln penny that has never been in circulation, with its original red luster and absolutely no wear, can command a high premium. These coins are often graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC, and anything graded MS-65 or higher can be worth hundreds, even thousands, depending on other features. Now here's something for the true collectors. Some 1971 Lincoln pennies were produced as proof coins, meaning they were struck using specially polished dies and planchets for collectors. A proof coin with a double die can be a dream find. These proof errors are incredibly rare, and their value can reach stunning heights. Imagine finding a coin that's been hiding in a box of old change, in your grandparents' attic, or buried in a flea market bin, and discovering that it holds not just historical importance, but also significant financial value. Now, the moment you've been waiting for. If you happen to own a 1971 Lincoln penny in uncirculated condition, especially with a major error like a double die or a striking anomaly, it could be worth as much as $60,000. Yes, you heard that right, 60,000 United States dollars for a coin that once cost just a single cent to use. Think about that for a moment. 1 cent turning into $60,000. That's the power of numismatics, the hunt, the history, the thrill of the find. And it's why coin collectors across the world are always on the lookout for these hidden treasures. So, if you have an old jar of coins, or maybe a forgotten stash in a drawer, it's time to take a closer look. Who knows, you might just be holding onto something truly extraordinary. Top 2. We're unlocking the incredible story behind a penny that looks so ordinary, yet could be worth a fortune. I'm talking about the 1976 Lincoln penny. Yes, that small copper coin that many of us have tossed into tip jars or piggy banks without a second thought. But what if I told you that this tiny coin, under the right circumstances, could be worth an eye-popping amount. Stay with me, and listen closely, because this is one video you do not want to miss. Let's start with some context. The year 1976 was a landmark moment in American history. The United States was celebrating its bicentennial, 200 years of independence. Patriotic celebrations were happening all across the country. Fireworks, flags, commemorative coins, everything was centered around that historic year. While the quarter, half-dollar, and dollar coins received special bicentennial designs to mark the occasion, the penny remained visually unchanged, still carrying the classic image of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. Now, despite its lack of a special design, the 1976 Lincoln penny carries its own hidden surprises, and for some collectors, it's even more desirable than the commemorative coins from the same year. So, what exactly makes the 1976 penny so special? It all comes down to rarity, condition, and minting errors, the holy trinity of coin collecting. Let's break it down. Millions of Lincoln pennies were minted in 1976, at facilities in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. You'll spot these by looking for the mint marks D for Denver and S for San Francisco. Coins from Philadelphia have no mint mark. But as we always say, it's not about how many were made, it's about how many survived in exceptional condition, and how many contain unusual mistakes that slipped through quality control. Now, here's where it gets exciting. Some 1976 Lincoln pennies were struck with a rare and dramatic error known as the double die obverse. This error happens when the die, the tool that strikes the coin, gets misaligned during the minting process. The result? The lettering and date appear doubled, especially noticeable in phrases like "Liberty" and "In God We Trust." This doubling isn't just a tiny detail only experts can see, it's often visible to the naked eye and adds massive value to the coin. Another sought-after error is the off-center strike, where the coin's design isn't centered on the metal blank, causing a portion of the coin to look incomplete. These off-center strikes range in severity, and the more dramatic ones, especially those where the full date is still visible, are highly prized. But perhaps the rarest of all are wrong planchet errors, where the 1976 Lincoln penny was accidentally struck on the metal blank meant for a different denomination. Imagine a penny made on a dime silver-colored planchet. That's a mistake collectors will pay huge money for. And let's not forget about the proof coins minted in San Francisco. Some of these coins, meant only for collectors, were struck with incredible precision and polished dies. If you have a 1976 S-proof penny with a double die or an unusual feature, you could be sitting on a real treasure. Condition is another key factor. A 1976 penny that has been carefully preserved, no scratches, no discoloration, and original luster still intact, can fetch far more than its face value. Coins in high mint state grades, especially MS 65 and above, are incredibly desirable in the market. Combine that with an error, and you've got a jackpot. So, whether you're just getting into coin collecting, or you've been building your collection for years, the 1976 Lincoln penny deserves your full attention. It's one of those coins that reminds us how powerful the smallest details can be, and how a penny overlooked by millions might just be the crown jewel of your collection. Now, it's time for the big reveal. If you are lucky enough to own a 1976 Lincoln penny in pristine uncirculated condition, especially one with a dramatic minting error, it could be worth as much as $72,000. Yes, 72,000 United States dollars for a 1-cent coin from your change jar. Let that sink in for a moment, and if that doesn't make you want to go check every coin in your house, I don't know what will. These rare coins are out there. People find them in the most unexpected places: estate sales, flea markets, pocket change, and sometimes even buried in the couch cushions. So don't ignore your pennies. Every coin has a story, and some are worth a whole lot more than 1 cent. Top 3. We're uncovering the secrets behind a coin that might just be sitting unnoticed in your change jar, the 1978 Lincoln penny. This is more than just a simple 1-cent coin. It's a piece of American history, and in rare cases, it can be worth a small fortune. So, listen very carefully, because the information in this video could be the key to unlocking a hidden gem in your own collection. At first glance, the 1978 penny doesn't look all that different from the other Lincoln cents minted throughout the 1970s. You've got Abraham Lincoln's familiar profile on the obverse, a tribute to one of the most revered presidents in American history, and the iconic Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, a symbol of national pride and unity, but don't be fooled by its familiar appearance. Underneath the surface, there's a world of mystery and value that most people completely overlook. Let's rewind the clock for a moment and talk about what was happening in 1978. The late 1970s was a time of economic turbulence in the United States. Inflation was rising, tensions were high, and people were paying closer attention to their money, both figuratively and literally. That year, the U.S. Mint produced hundreds of millions of Lincoln cents across its major facilities in Philadelphia, No Mint Mark, Denver, D Mint Mark, and San Francisco, S Mint Mark for proof coins only. But here's the twist: not all of those pennies were created equal. While the majority of 1978 Lincoln cents were perfectly ordinary, a very small number left the mint with errors. And it's these errors that turn a common coin into a collector's dream. Let's talk about the rarity and value of the 1978 penny, and what you need to look for. One of the most well-known and valuable mistakes to look for is the double die obverse. This error causes the design elements on the front of the coin, including the date, the words, "In God We Trust," and "Liberty," to appear doubled. When this happens clearly and sharply, especially in uncirculated condition, collectors will pay top dollar for it. There are also off-center strikes, where the coin was misaligned during minting, leaving part of the design off the planchet. The more off-center it is, and the more of the date that's still visible, the more valuable the coin becomes. These are visually striking errors that even casual observers can spot, and let's not forget about wrong planchet errors, an especially rare mistake. This occurs when a penny is mistakenly struck on the wrong type of metal blank, such as a dime or even a foreign coin planchet. These bizarre hybrids are incredibly rare and can sell for massive amounts due to their uniqueness. Now here's where it gets even more exciting: the proof coins. These were minted at the San Francisco Mint, marked with an S, and were never meant for circulation. If you happen to come across a 1978 S-proof penny with an error, such as doubling, striking defects, or even planchet flaws, you could be holding a coin that's worth a whole lot more than face value. Collectors also go crazy for high-grade, uncirculated coins, pennies that have never been used, still glowing with their original red copper shine. When a 1978 Lincoln penny is professionally graded at MS 65 or higher, its market value can shoot up dramatically. Combine a high grade with a rare error, and you've got a once-in-a-lifetime find. Now, here's something every coin collector dreams of: that thrilling moment of realizing you're holding a penny that looks just like the others, but is in fact worth thousands. So how much are we talking about? If you happen to own a 1978 Lincoln penny that is in uncirculated condition and includes a significant minting error, such as a double die, off-center strike, or wrong planchet, you could be looking at a coin worth up to $79,000, yes, 79,000 United States dollars for a single penny. Think about that for a second. A coin that once sat at the bottom of a pocket or rolled off a cashier's counter could now be more valuable than some luxury cars. That's the incredible power of coin collecting, where history, rarity, and a little bit of luck can lead to unbelievable rewards. So don't ignore those old coins lying around. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting your journey, always keep an eye out for the unexpected. You never know when a penny might be your golden ticket. Top 4. We're about to unlock the incredible story behind a coin that many people overlook every single day: the 1980 Lincoln penny. Yes, that tiny copper-colored coin sitting in your pocket or rattling around in your kitchen drawer could be a hidden treasure. Because under just the right conditions, this seemingly ordinary penny might be worth a mind-blowing amount of money. So listen very carefully and stay with us, because you could be holding on to something worth far more than just 1 cent. Let's start by setting the stage. The year was 1980. The United States was stepping into a new decade. Ronald Reagan was on the verge of entering the political spotlight, disco music was fading out, and Americans were adjusting to a rapidly changing economy. During this time, inflation had taken its toll, and people were paying closer attention to every penny they spent, quite literally. And yet, while everyone was busy spending and saving, the U.S. Mint continued producing the familiar Lincoln cent, the one we've all seen 1,000 times, with President Abraham Lincoln's bust on the front, and the Lincoln Memorial on the back. but here's the twist. Not all 1980 Lincoln pennies were created equal. And some are now considered incredibly rare and valuable among collectors today. Let's break it down. The 1980 Lincoln cent was minted at 3 different U.S. mint locations: Philadelphia, no mint mark; Denver, with a D mint mark; and San Francisco, with an S mint mark. While hundreds of millions of these pennies were produced, the ones that truly stand out today are the ones with mint errors, unique characteristics, or those that have been preserved in flawless, uncirculated condition. Now, why would a coin that's only 45 years old be worth so much? Let's talk errors. The collector's dream. First, there's the double die obverse error. This happens when the coin die shifts slightly during minting, creating a doubled appearance in the text and date. If you spot a 1980 penny where "Liberty, in God we trust," or the date looks slightly doubled, especially under magnification, you may be holding a valuable variation. Then we have the off-center strike, another fan favorite among collectors. In these cases, the coin wasn't properly aligned during minting, resulting in a lopsided or incomplete design. The more extreme the off-center strike, and the more visible the date, the more collectible the coin becomes. Another rare and extremely valuable error is the wrong planchet strike, where the penny was mistakenly struck on a blank intended for another coin, such as a dime or even a foreign denomination. These are not only rare but truly fascinating from a minting history perspective. Imagine a 1980 Lincoln cent struck on a dime's planchet, smaller in size and silver in color, a real jackpot for collectors. And if you happen to find a proof coin from San Francisco, marked with an S, keep your eyes open. Proof coins are struck with extra care and are made for collectors, not circulation. If one of these has a minting flaw or an error like mirror doubling, it could fetch a very high price on the collector's market. Of course, condition plays a massive role in the value of any coin. Coins that are still in mint state, especially those graded MS 65 or higher, can command serious money. If the luster is bright, the surface is clean, and there are no scratches or wear marks, that penny instantly becomes more desirable to buyers and collectors alike. So here's the million-dollar question: what happens when you combine one of these rare mint errors with a coin that's in pristine, uncirculated condition? You get a penny that's worth more than anyone would expect. And now for the big reveal. If you have a 1980 Lincoln penny that is uncirculated and features a major minting error, such as a double die, off-center strike, or wrong planchet, it could be worth as much as $85,000. Yes, you heard that right, 85,000 United States dollars for a single penny. Just imagine finding one in a coin roll from the bank, or tucked away in a forgotten jar from your grandparents' house. It's happened before, and it will happen again. That's the beauty of coin collecting. It's not just about copper, silver, or gold, it's about the story, the rarity, the mistakes that make these coins unique. Every coin has the potential to be a treasure, and sometimes the smallest denomination holds the biggest surprise. So go check your 1980 pennies, look closely, use a magnifier, examine the edges and the lettering. You never know what you might find. Top 5. We're diving deep into a coin that might look completely ordinary to the average eye, but for those who know what to look for, it's an absolute goldmine. Yes, we're talking about the 1984 Lincoln penny, a 1-cent coin that could be hiding in your pocket, in your old change jar, or sitting quietly in a forgotten drawer, waiting to be discovered. So listen very closely and watch this video until the end, because this is not just another old penny, it's a potential life-changing find. Let's travel back to the year 1984. Ronald Reagan was President of the United States. The nation was entering an era of major economic and technological transformation, and the U.S. Mint continued its long-running production of the iconic Lincoln cent, a series that started back in 1909 and still runs strong today. But what made the 1984 Lincoln penny stand out from the rest? What secret makes it such a hot target for collectors? Let's start with the basics. On the obverse of the coin, we see the timeless profile of President Abraham Lincoln, facing right, the word "Liberty" proudly displayed to the left, and the date 1984 to the right. On the reverse side, we see the Grand Lincoln Memorial, a symbol of strength and national unity, standing tall beneath the words "United States of America" and 1 cent. Now, most of the 1984 pennies minted in Philadelphia and Denver were completely standard. But here's where it gets exciting. a small number of 1984 Lincoln cents left the mint with striking errors, and those are the coins that have become legends in the collector world. Let's talk about the most famous of them all, the 1984 double-ear Lincoln penny. Yes, you heard that right. Some 1984 Lincoln cents show a doubling on Lincoln's ear, a minting error that happened during the die creation process. If you examine Lincoln's profile closely, you'll notice what looks like a second earlobe just behind the first. And for collectors, that little detail turns a humble penny into a rare and valuable treasure. This particular variety is known as the double die obverse, and it's incredibly popular among error collectors. But the key to its value? Condition. The better the condition, especially uncirculated specimens, the more the coin is worth. Then there are other types of errors that can increase a 1984 penny's value even more: off-center strikes, where part of the design is missing due to a misaligned strike; die cracks and cuds, where broken dies leave raised lines or blobs on the coin surface; wrong planchet errors, where a penny is mistakenly struck on a blank meant for another denomination. Each of these error types adds a unique twist to the coin, making it stand out to collectors and driving up its market value. But even regular 1984 pennies, when preserved in near-perfect condition, known as mint state, MS, can be worth significantly more than face value. A brilliant red, uncirculated Lincoln penny with MS 66 or higher grading can command hundreds or even thousands of dollars, especially if it features the famous doubled ear error. Now imagine this: a 1984 penny that's uncirculated, beautifully preserved, and includes a major minting error. That, my friends, is the collector's dream, and the kind of coin that fetches jaw-dropping prices at auctions. So now, for the moment you've been waiting for. If you're lucky enough to own a 1984 Lincoln penny with a clear doubled ear error or other rare mint defect, and it's in exceptional condition, it could be worth as much as $92,000. Yes, 92,000 United States dollars for a single copper penny. That's the magic of numismatics, a world where age, rarity, condition, and a little bit of mystery all come together to turn pocket change into a small fortune. And the best part? These coins are still out there. In boxes, drawers, rolls from the bank, and yes, even inside those old coin jars collecting dust in the garage. So grab a magnifying glass, check your 1984 pennies carefully, and keep your eyes open for that rare doubled ear. It could be your lucky day. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about rare and valuable coins from the US and beyond, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you don't miss out on the next big discovery. Thanks for watching, and until next time, happy collecting.